It's starting to feel like tensions are coming to a boil. There will be full-scale war soon. Not now, I'm busy.
You've been quite difficult to predict, my friend. I hope I can sway you more solidly to the Legion's way of thinking. My name is Carl. Glorious Caesar has sent me as an emissary to the Great Khans as a token of our alliance. I am one of the Frumentari. It is my duty to scout the waste in Caesar's name and make contact with any tribes that might serve a useful purpose. You might say I'm somewhere between a scout and an ambassador. I'm assigned here as part of the alliance between the Legion and the Great Khans. Though they have been cruelly oppressed by the NCR, the Khans remain great warriors. The Legion is honored to have such allies in battle.
Carl's been in a shitty mood since that big explosion at the fort.
I remember the chairman from the tribal days. They were punks then, they're punks now.
Diane's going...
Greetings in the name of Kaiser. In exchange for Great Caesar's promise of all the lands west of New Vegas, the Khans have agreed to fight alongside the Legion when the time comes.
Nuts trying to find a new contact in the Fiends now that...
I remember the chairman from their tribal days. They were punks.
I haven't seen you before. What brings you to the Great Khans? Papa is one of the best leaders the Khans have ever had. He's kept us together through all of our hardships, ever since we left California. Bitter Springs changed him, though. He started to really hate the NCR after the massacre. And sometimes, I worry that's poisoned his mind. Nothing. Forget about it. I shouldn't be talking about this with an outsider. That's a complicated question. They've done horrible things to our people, to be sure, and I've gladly killed many of their soldiers in battle. But I can't bring myself to hate them the way Papa does. Things would damn sure be better for us if they were in charge than Caesar. I suppose if asked I would, but that's a moot point, because Papa's in charge now, and he's not going anywhere. Name's Regis. I'm Papa Khan's advisor and right-hand man. I'm also the chief enforcer of the tribe's laws, so watch your behavior. Until next time.
Then,
there'll be a full-scale war soon.
Papa says, cut off the...
So the cub enters the wolf's den. What do you want, cub? You march all the way out to Red Rock Canyon, enter my home as bold as you please, and you have no idea who I am? You've got guts, I'll give you that. Well then, let me educate you. I am the chief of the Great Khans. The Khan of Khans, if you like. This is my tribe, and these are my people. You want to hear the story of the Great Khans? It's a long one, full of honor, glory, and betrayal. We have suffered, but we will regain our glory. In a hurry, are you? Very well, then. The Great Khans came east, out of the NCR 14 years ago. We ruled the wastes then, and called no man master. But we underestimated the families of the Strip, and they drove us back to Bitter Springs, where we remained until the NCR arrived and drove us here. They allied with Mr. House, the self-proclaimed master of New Vegas. He supported them with the resources of New Vegas. Weapons, technology, caps. They were better equipped, and we could not stand against them. When the NCR came to the Mojave, we thought they would be easy pickings. We raided their caravans, their towns, their camps. They couldn't stop us. At least that's what we thought. They tracked us to Bitter Springs and surrounded us. When our children, our sick and old, fled through a nearby pass, the NCR gunned them down. Oh, they claimed it was a miscommunication, but tell that to those who saw our families butchered. Tell it to the survivors who were banished here. It's because of that we have sworn to take revenge on the NCR. With our new allies in Caesar's Legion, we will crush them. Have you now? Well, you're a bold one, I'll give you that. But why should I do this for you? Doesn't he? Caesar's representative tells a different tale. The glory of the great Khans will be restored, and once the NCR is pushed back to California, all the land from here to the Colorado will be ours. I won't hear any more talk against Caesar or his alliance. The great Khans will answer Caesar's call to war, and the NCR will pay for their crimes.
The head and the snake will die. I guess the chairman's days are numbered.
It's starting to feel like tensions are coming to a boil. There will be full-scale war soon. In the past, I'd have had someone like you executed for showing their face here. Consider yourself lucky I don't have the warriors to spare.
If you're smart, you'll... I heard you try to convince Papa Khan not to join with Caesar's Legion. I'd like to talk to you about that for a moment. You want to convince Papa not to ally with Caesar, right? Trust me, you'll get nowhere just talking to him about it. He's fixated on restoring the glory of the great Khans, and he sees Caesar as the path to that restoration. Papa can be a stubborn man, but he's not a tyrant. He listens to his tribe, and to 4 voices in particular: me, Jack, Diane, and Melissa. If you can convince all of us that allying with Caesar is a bad idea, you might be able to sway him. I have my doubts about Caesar, yes, but I won't publicly go against Papa Khan based on nothing more than doubts. I've heard rumors that tribes who aligned with Caesar in the past were torn apart and reduced to slaves. Prove it, and I'll back you. You'd have to talk to them, but those 2 have been thick as thieves since they were kids. Convince one, and the other will come around. Ah, Melissa. She's a bit of a dreamer. Last time she was in camp, Carl filled her head with stories of serving the Legion as a speculatore. Personally, I've never seen a woman in Legionnaire's armor, so I have my doubts. Good. Oh, one more thing. Caesar's representative, Carl, has become fast friends with Papa. Carl's the one who has him so fixated on this alliance. You'll probably have an easier time of things if you can find a way to get him out of the picture. Carl talks prettily about the honor and nobility of the great Khans, but I suspect his actual opinion is less flattering. Maybe you could find something he wrote that expresses that opinion, or trick him into losing his cool in the longhouse right in front of Papa. I would too, if I were you.
What'd you think of Mr. House? What? Nice! Can I order room service?
What do you want now? You can ask, but why would I do that? Carl told me all about the life in the Legion. He says I've got all the makings of a speculatory. What? No, What do you mean aren't allowed to serve? Why would he lie about that? That lying little weasel. I almost fell for it too. All right, you've got a deal. You can tell Papa I won't support an alliance.
Those black armored devils might be new to the Mojave, but they're butchers like all the rest. It's starting to feel like tensions are coming to a boil. There will be full-scale war soon.
Carl sends his regards. Ah! Another kill! My name!
Caesar's veterans are making short work in the NCO.
Papa says cut off the head.
I understand you've been talking to the great Khans about breaking their oaths to great Caesar. I would call that unwise. Join? Oh, no, I simply couldn't. That is, I'm not worthy of such an honor. Of course I am. That is to say, Caesar has many fine warriors, and I wouldn't wish to compare them to the great Khans. Enough! How dare you compare Caesar's finest to this tribe of savages? The mightiest great Khan is scarcely a match for a legion recruit. The burned man would leave their mightiest shitting themselves in terror. I would. That is... You motherless bastard. You'll pay for this.
Great Khans. Drive Caesar's dog out of our camp. If he's too slow to flee, kill him.
I'm beginning to hear troubling rumors from my advisors. Would you know anything about that?
Not now, I'm busy. Doesn't rhyme. 1, 2, 3. Damn it. What do you want? Nothing really. Just trying to psych myself up to try my initiation. Again. Oh, you heard that, huh? Okay, so, yeah, I was writing poetry. I know, it's not a very great Khan-like thing to do. The followers of the apocalypse came to our camp when I was a kid, and they brought a bunch of old books. I used to read pre-war poetry for hours. Have you seen this tribe? If it's not an epic drunken ballad of cracking skulls and hearing lamentations, they think it's a waste of time. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe I can find my true calling, someplace they'll appreciate my poetry. Someplace like the old Mormon fort, maybe. Do you think the followers of the apocalypse would take me? I remember all those books they brought us when they visited our tribe. You'd do that? Thanks! I mean, I'd go myself, but what if they said no? The Khans wouldn't take me back, and then I'd have nobody. Everybody has to do it. Well, everybody who wants to be a Khan anyways. They toss you into the ring there and beat on you for a solid minute. If you survive, you're in. Sure, maybe not if you're some hulking reprobate like Regis or big to the gills like Jack. I've tried 5 times and still haven't made it.
I remember...
I really don't want to deal with it. Huh? Wait, what are you talking about? We're allied with Caesar now? Typical. Nobody tells me anything. You would? I wrote this limerick the last time I went to Freeside. There once was a fellow called Garrett, whose sister she did love to bear it. She flashed it around all over town, so if you would screw her, beware it. I, got kicked out of the Atomic Wrangler for that one. That's it. What do you think? You liked it? Wow, you're the first one who ever did.
Remember the chairman from their tribal days. They were punks then.
You fall... No, that's terrible. Silver... What?
What?
Fuck off and die.
What rhymes with indulgent? Faux... No, that's terrible.
Rumor from the Strip is that House is dead. I hope the old bastard choked on his own tongue.
You're not one of my regulars. What do you want? Hey, it's not like I'm super attached to working with Caesar or anything. But if he'll stop his patrols from harassing my runners, I'm all for it. I haven't heard anything like that. Do you have any proof? Okay. Come on back when you do. Helpful? What, like bathtub stim packs? What's the point of that? You've got a point. Selling meds to the locals could be a pretty nice side gig. Alright, I'll tell Jack to give it a try. Yeah, you made a pretty good argument. We'll keep it small for now, but if it... Anything else? Yeah.
Whoa, new guy. Huh? Look, man, me and Diane, we don't dig on that politics stuff, savvy? We just make the product and make it get to a good home. Sure, Caesar's a drag, but as long as we've got each other, we don't care who the top dogs roll with. Dude, what a total haul. No way that's Kopashishi. Yeah, okay. Me and Diane got your back. No sweat. Oh, you're buying. Thanks. Already on it. I whipped up a few stim packs already, but if...
By order of Caesar, your...
True to...
Some of the slaves have been spreading stories about the burned man again.
The camps again.
I suspect you'll be a valuable asset to the Legion.
Getting crowded.
It is a great honor for anyone outside the... It's a tradition in the Praetorians to specialize in unarmed combat, because weapons can break or jam when needed most. However, our unarmed techniques favor offense over defense. We can charge the enemy and flatten him with our first strike before he can react. Of course, this will take some time, and I'm not a forgiving teacher.
Was there more for us to discuss? There's a gambler, Martina Grosbeck, who has a knack for learning other people's secrets and passing that information along for a price. The Omertas, who run Gomorrah, have become suspicious of Martina's frequent visits to their casino. Soon they'll pay her a visit of their own. Good. Martina frequents the Vault 21 gift shop on the Strip. Hurry along, and she still may be in one piece by the time you get there.
Move along.
Have you brought news of the boomers? I've analyzed the region's tribe to determine how they might be useful. I may tell you more at a later time, if it suits me.
Some of the slaves have been spreading stories about the burned man again.
Fuck off and die.
You're becoming quite the political agitator. I can't say I'm displeased. Let me see. My God, this is even worse than I thought. Okay, you have my support. I'll tell Papa the Alliance is a bad idea. What do you want to know?
Papa says cut off that...
All four of my most trusted advisors have told me we should break our alliance. Maybe I should hear you out after all. I've heard some things from my most trusted cons that makes me wonder whether this alliance is a good idea after all. But I want to leave a legacy of greatness when I die. My tribe deserves better than this, cowering in a canyon and living on scraps. Tell me then, if I don't join with Caesar's Legion, where will I find my tribe's lost glory? The followers of the Apocalypse keep many records of the past. It's been a long time since we associated with them. Until you do find me something, though, know that I still plan to lead the... You...
The head and the snake will die. I guess the chairman's days are...
Hello.
Had enough?
Whoa!
Like that? Hey, you're the one who's been going around helping people around here, right? The king says to keep up the good work, and said to give you this. What's up?
One of my aides said you got into the Lucky 38. If you see someone by the... We're always looking for new members. Does he have any particular talent? Well, I suppose we could always use another junior archivist in the library. All right, tell him we'll accept him as a probationary initiate. The Great Khans. Oh, you mean those raiders that used to clash with the Vegas tribes? Yes, some years back we taught them reading, writing, basic science. We hoped they would use it to make medical supplies, but they turned to drugs. I was never much involved in the cultural side of that project, but Ezekiel was. He's a member of the followers like myself, but his particular field is pre-war history and tribal culture. I do recall him being fascinated by the Khans. He kept going on about parallels to some ancient historical empire or another. He rarely stops in here these days. You'd do best to look for him out in the wastes east of New Vegas. He's always looking for new tribes to study. A comet. Anything else? Great. How much do you... Thanks. We're pretty...
Hey.
You look like someone with a question. What can I do for you? Oh my, yes. They're a fascinating tribe with a long and unfortunately tragic history. Their original incarnation, much farther out west, was almost completely wiped out by one of those itinerant heroes so common in the post-war years. Then, of course, the new Khans suffered a similar fate. Some say at the hands of the same hero, though of course the dates are all wrong for that. Well, after they migrated to the Mojave, we established relations with them, but that soured when all they wanted was to make drugs. The NCR eventually took them down quite a bit, but the really fascinating thing about them is the origin of their culture as a whole. You see, oh, of course. I'm sorry, I do tend to get wrapped up in my own theories and forget that not everyone finds them as fascinating as I do. Here, I salvaged this book from an old library. It's a history of people called the Mongols. I think that's what the Khans built their culture on. You should read it. It's fascinating stuff.
Ah, you're back. I should have you torn apart for speaking like that. But maybe you're right. The glory of the past is an empty dream. If the Khans are to be immortal, we must make our own destiny. We won't fight for Caesar, but when he strikes, we will ride out one last time. We'll remain until the camp is packed up. If you have some plan, see to it quickly. We'll begin readying the camp to move. As soon as Caesar makes his move, we'll... Whatever your motivation was, I think we owe you a debt.
Those black armor devil.
Ah, you're back. Well spoken, traveler. Well spoken indeed. Perhaps it's time to find our own destiny, unburdened by the past. We'll begin readying the camp to move. As soon as Caesar makes his move, we'll depart. We will make ourselves strong again, and we shall conquer. If you should ever tire of wandering alone, seek us out. You might just have the makings of a great Khan yourself. I've got little enough patience for you.
Be new to...
Ah, you're...
the Mojave, but they're... I remember the chairman from...
Ah, you're... This is exactly the kind of symbol the Khans could unite behind. We'll begin readying the camp to move. As soon as Caesar makes his move, we'll depart. We will make ourselves strong again, and we shall conquer. If you should ever tire of wandering alone, seek us out. You might just have the makings of a great Khan yourself.
On their tribal days, they were punks then.
I've got little enough patience for you. Consider your words carefully. You don't want me as an enemy.
And they're punks now. Something about how much great cons suck. How do you spell gesticulate? You gonna make fun of me too? They did? Oh, that's great, thank you. I'm out of this crummy camp.